Hello guys and welcome. Anthony David is my name, aka Chidav, and today we are going to be looking at the challenges in setting up a commercial plantain field. The essence we are bringing this information to you is because of the scarcity of information available to you in order to set up your commercial plantain field, and that is why in this video we're going to be breaking down in details all the necessary information you need to properly set up your field commercially. So I don't want you to go nowhere. I want you to stay glued to your screen and pay attention. Get your note. You note down in details for every single thing we are going to be talking about in this particular video. So guys, stay glued. I will be back. I still remain Anthony David. Peace guys. First thing we're going to be looking at is first major challenge people encounter in setting up their commercial plantain field. Oops, the intensity of the sun is quite high, so I need to be on my face cap. So the first major challenge is lack of understanding of budgeting. Okay, people just log on to probably YouTube, or they just go to any site and then search for most profitable or 10 most profitable crops or 5 most profitable crops in Nigeria, and the next thing they probably come across plantain and they're like, yeah, I can do plantain, and then they jump into the establishment of a plantain field without really having a budget. And that is why they always say proper planning prevents poor performance. And then in the course of setting up their commercial farm, they get stuck because they have failed to have an understanding of the project in terms of the figures involved. They fail to understand that. They've also failed to understand how much in terms of the demand, now in terms of the financial demand of the project, which is very, very key in order to have a super massive commercial field and an effective one. So the budget would help you prepare your mind financially. It's going to prepare your mind financially. You're going to see, the cost analysis of setting up your commercial field. You're also going to see the revenue analysis of your field at the end of the day, and you are also going to see the profit analysis at the end of the day. But when you do not have a proper budget, you will fail to understand each of these aspects of the budget, and that is why they fail. So you can't go into a war without being battle ready. You can't haven't gotten to a place you want to execute and then you don't even know the financial implication of what you want to do. So what you are going to do, that's more like preparing to fail even before you get started. So what I'm going to advise you do before you set up any of your field at all, be it plantain, be it any crop establishment, before you set up, ensure you have a proper budget. And if you don't know how to go about with your budget, all you need to do is just go to the description of this video, reach out to us at Chidavagriculturalhub. We would help you set up a proper budget which would consider these 3 aspects. 1, the cost analysis of setting up the project. 2, it will also consider the revenue analysis, which is the money you are going to get from the project, and it will also consider the profit analysis, which is when you subtract your cost of production from your revenue analysis, then what you have is profit. So the budget will help explain all of these aspects in details, and we are also going to break it down into months based on the life cycle of the crop, so you understand how much you are going to be spending per month, per crop. All these are very, very critical, and you have to be mindful of it. So get your budget game right before you set up your plantain field, so that way you already know you are preparing for success and you are not preparing for failure. So we go right into the next one. All right, so guys, after you've been able to understand your budget, the next thing you need to understand is the purpose for which you are setting up. You need to understand there's a huge difference between a commercial field and a non-commercial field. And then when we talk about commercial field, it simply means you are doing it for for the market. You are setting up for business. So you're not setting up for you're not setting up for the family. You're not setting up for consumption. You're setting up for sales. And when you're setting up for sales, You have to be profit oriented. All these factors have to be considered, and you need to have an understanding of the purpose for which you are setting up your plantain field. And that is why we say it is how to, challenges now that people encounter while setting up a commercial field. So the next is, in order to avoid having major challenges in the setup, you have to engage professionals. What did I say? You have to engage professionals. You have to engage professionals in order to get it right. Because if you do not engage professionals, people who have wealth of experiences in this field, you would run into challenges in the course of your production. You wouldn't want to use your commercial field to experiment, because there's a whole lot of money. When we say it's commercial, it means it's in a very large scale. You're not doing it on a small scale, and you wouldn't want to start on a large scale without involving people who really have critical understanding of how the setup processes go. So engage professionals, and when you engage professionals, they are going to help you to ensure that you get quality production at the end of the day. So what will be the benefit of you engaging professionals in order to avoid some challenges you might come across in the course of your setup? So we're going to go into benefits of you engaging a professional, and I am going to be talking about it in details right about now. When you engage professionals, this is what will happen at the end of the day. One, they will help you get your planting right, your outlining right. Now they will help you get your planting population right, which is key. I need to emphasize is your plant population determines your yield at the end of the day. And then when we talk about plant population, what are we talking about? We're simply talking about the area of land, okay, and the number of crop you have in that area of land. The area of land now divided by the spacing of the plants you are going to be using. So a professional will help you determine the right plant population, so that you are not just cultivating, okay, but you are cultivating when you are cultivating the right plant population. So how do I mean? Taking this commercial field for example, for when we set up, we use 2 meter by 2 meter plant spacing. And the essence of using 2 meter by 2 meter, people say, won't it be too close? No, it won't be too close, because here it's a commercial field, and fine, plantains it depends on the variety of the plantain you are cultivating. For some varieties, the improved varieties we have are not so, they're not so gigantic in terms of the size of the plant, but then they grow not too tall, but mediumly. They are usually mediumly sized. So when you cultivate them from here to here, is enough distance for them to spread out and develop fully. And when you use 2 meter by 2 meter, like we have here on the field, now this is 1, this is 2, this is a 2 meter distance, and both the horizontal and the vertical lines are 2 meters apart. So now when we use this spacing, it helps us get the right plant population. It is very, very critical you have these professionals on your field, and they would help you get it right at all times. That I'm very, very sure, at least 90 to 95%. Now when I say professional, I'm not talking of a cookie. Professional, when I say professional, I mean professional, people with wealth of experiences. And of course, you can always count on us at Chidavagriculturalhub to get your farming or your commercial farming game right. That is 100%. You can count on us. So there's no debate about it. The next reason why you want to engage an expert to ensure you get your commercial plantain field setup game right is so that they will help you source quality planting material. You are new to the game. You do not have the contact just yet to people with quality materials. I've had a situation where a client of mine, because he didn't want to get in touch with a professional, because he doesn't want to pay the professional charges for a professional, and then he went ahead to rugged it, do it, I can do it on my own. Probably saw a couple of information and then just jumped into trying to do it on his own. In the long run, or not even in the long run, in the course of this, he got a contact that eventually gave him very, very bad suckers. They gave him local varieties those ones that don't even yield, and then they grow for over a year before they start producing. And the guy planted this with the hope that he has gotten an hybrid variety. Unknown to him, he got it from a very illegitimate source, and then this really messed up the guy's project. He bought it at the rate of, that of the hybrid, and then at the end of the day, it ended up that he didn't get quality hybrid suckers, because he felt, getting a professional would be too expensive for his project. But in the long run, he spent more because he had to eventually get the professional into the setup plan, and then he had already spent way more due to ignorance. So that is why I always emphasize, try as much as you can. If it is your first time of going into this project, make sure you are not taking chances. It's a commercial field, and you have to be very, very intentional. Intentionality is the key when you are running a commercial field. So guys, another major challenge, which is still very critical, is the location of your field. Before you even set up your commercial field, you need to find out from that community the security of your land. I'm not saying someone is going to come overnight to steal your land from you, but then the produce, what you're going to be establishing, it's possible you set up and then the next day you have Fulanis come into your field, and then they destroy all your investment, everything you've invested in. They destroy it. One night or one entrance of those cows can cause mayhem to your crop and then your investment. So you need to make research. You don't just jump into planting or cultivating anywhere. You need to make inquiries and find out more about that area, find out the activities of the herders in that area, and find out also if people who have been cultivating in that area, it might not be what you want to cultivate, but people who have been cultivating have had challenges with the herders. You need to find out all of this. That will then inform you if it's a good place to then invest your capital, your hard-earned resources into. So you need to ensure you do that, so that you do not have, after investing, and then you have someone coming with his or a cow and then eat up all that you've labored for. That won't be good. So ensure you do proper inquiries in the area. And then how do you go about making this inquiry? It is very, very simple. All you need to do is you visit the locals. When you come around, visit the locals, engage a couple of the locals, and ensure that just engage them positively. Find out, just randomly ask them questions. Also, you have to observe. Go into the just walk around the field. If herders have been on that field, you'll see activities of herders. Definitely, it can be hidden. And also, if you don't even know what to look out for, you can always engage us at Chidavagriculturalhub. Before you purchase, we can always come around to help you evaluate your field, to look at these things, look at the cropping history of that place, look at the soil type, and also help you make these inquiries, observe, look at the road network and all of that. So all these things are major challenges that people get to face. Security, and then activities of herders that could be a major threat of your hard-earned establishment. So in order to avoid any of this or all of this, ensure you engage people who truly understand, have critical understanding of farming, and help you get it right. So guys, another thing you have to also consider is the road network. Okay, you have to consider the road network, and you have to be sure that the road to the farm is very, very accessible. You have to ensure that is done. The road to the farm must be accessible, because if you go and set up a field where the road is not accessible, when you harvest, you would not easily get any logistic company or any bus to take the produce from your farm to the market. That becomes a challenge. So don't be in a haste to get a place. Ensure the place is accessible. There's always land. You always get accessible land. Don't always be so after the cost now of the land. Fine, you should be after the cost, but the major thing you should be after is accessibility off the field to the market. That is what really matters. If you have a good road, a good and accessible road, I tell you, you would make great profit. So guys, these are things that you need to consider when you want to set up. This could also be possible challenges you might be faced with at your current location, and we are just sharing this should in case you want to go about with the setup of your field. Ensure you get professionals involved. Ensure you, even if you don't get professionals, ensure you as the person who wants to set up is properly trained. You have to have the knowledge. You can't go into a commercial field with the assumption that you know it, and you can't also go with the assumption that this is how we do it or this is how our great grandfathers do it. Agriculture has gone way beyond a way of life, and like I always say, agriculture is business, and it's high time you started treating your farming businesses or your farming venture as a business, because when you do so, you would make a lot of profit. Definitely, when you do so, you would be happy you did. Okay, don't do agriculture as a way of life. It's not. It's business. Don't do it like the way our great grandfathers did it. It's gone way beyond that. So you need to start thinking of agriculture in that light, and definitely you make profit at the end of the day. Ensure you consider all of these factors, because these are major challenges we've encountered in the course of our evaluating major farms. After setup, a couple of our clients will invite us and say, okay, Chidav, I want your team to come evaluate our field, or I want you to come evaluate my field. And when we get done, these are challenges. So we're not saying it because we saw it in one book. We're saying it because these are real life experiences we've had over the course of the years of our practice. And we do not want you to go through this same pain or stress a couple of clients have gone through in the course of getting involved in farming without really having the adequate knowledge needed for a particular crop venture. And then I need to also emphasize this. Like I said, each crop has its own agronomic practices, and it has its own technique too. So you also need to understand this and engage an agronomist. Okay, so all these are things you have to consider and make sure are put in place. I'm very sure at the end of the day you would smile to the bank, which is obviously what we're all about, or what we're all after. We want to help you get it right at Chidavagriculturalhub. We want to help you get your plants, your activities on the farm. We want to make it to be profitable. We don't just want you to do agriculture for doing sake. It's not a way of life. It's business, and you have to start treating it as one. So if you have any major farm project, all you need to do, go to the description of this video, reach out to us and let us know how we can be of immense help to that your farming project. Stay glued, guys. And at this point, guys, if you've not subscribed yet, I need you to punch on the subscribe button, turn on your notification bell, and do what to give this video a thumb up. We'll see you in our next video, guys. Peace.